All right, so we're out here in Nelsonville, New York, and I'm trying to find my next fan of the week, but I'm having trouble finding anyone. Jalen Gill is a popular man in Westerville South, and he will be for the next 4 years at Ohio State. Today, the #2 overall recruit in Ohio is heading to Ohio State. Urban Meyer said last month he wanted to do better in the state, and he did just that by snagging Gill. The Cincinnati Reds were in Athens this evening for their annual Winter Caravan Tour. Now, this kicked off day one of their East Tour. Some of the familiar faces, broadcaster Jeff Brantley, the Cowboy, as well as general manager Dick Williams, and right beside me is Reds Hall of Famer and World Series champion Eric Davis. So, Eric, what's it like to get out and talk to the people with the baseball season right around the corner?
Danny, we're honestly not used to seeing this at all. He's had a great regular season, but tonight, I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was the cold weather, but he missed a lot of open receivers, which is really uncharacteristic of him. And add that on top of the fact that Shelby has a really good defense, and it was a perfect storm for an early playoff outing, and that's exactly what happened to Bloom Carroll.
If there's a game happening in Gahanna, you can be sure he'll be there. Bill Withrow, better known as Gahanna Bill, doesn't have time to let his disability get him down. He's too busy rooting for the Lions. He graduated from the school in 1972 and earned the nickname for his unwavering school spirit over the last 40 years. But Bill not only cheers for the Lions, he has the heart of one too.
Oh! Whoa! Yay!
He's a die-hard fan, but above all,
he's a hugger and a kisser.
Yeah!
Hi, Effie.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, buddy.
if you meet him, you'll always remember one thing.
His smile and laughter is so contagious.
He just puts a smile on your face, man. It's
Oh, yeah.
Bill was diagnosed with a mental disability at 2 years old, and doctors said he would never function on his own.
against all odds. Bill has lived on his own in his apartment and functioned on his own.
But he's never truly alone.
Shoot, you call my mom, Mom, and my sister, Sister, so like Bill is definitely part of our family.
And he considers the whole town part of his family.
How are you, buddy?
Fine.
Good, good.
I'm your buddy, huh, Bill?
Yeah.
Gahanna Lincoln found a way to return the love in 2004 when it started the Bill Withrow Award.
I would give up any other award, anything else, just for Bill's award.
Students like Kathleen must submit an essay answering one question. What does Gahanna Bill mean to you?
That's probably your favorite day of the year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Only one boy and one girl get the award, but everyone in Gahanna gets this message from Bill.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
You know, I had a talk with him, and I'm going to take all credit for his shooting performance so far.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Justin Holbrook. That's Saul Phillips talking about senior Kenny Kaminsky, who made all 5 of his three-pointers and finished with 17 points last night as the men's basketball team blew out Sam Houston State 96-75 at the Convo. And Kaminsky wasn't the only one knocking down threes. As a team, the Bobcats made 15 three-pointers while shooting better than 50% from behind the arc. And get this, 9 of Ohio's first 11 field goals were all three-pointers. Sam Houston State was the preseason pick to win the Southland Conference, but Ohio overwhelmed the Bearcats from the start. Jordan Dardis also finished with 17 points, while Tony Campbell led all scorers with 20. And the basketball team isn't the only one hitting its stride. Ohio football has won 3 straight games, and in just a few minutes, the Bobcats take on Central Michigan on the road. Ohio would clinch the MAC East title with a win and put the team in the MAC championship for the first time since 2011. And the MAC championship isn't something Ohio has won since 1968. The Chippewas hold a 5-5 record and are 1 win away from being bowl eligible. One thing to keep an eye on is that CMU ranks 11th in the MAC in scoring and rushing offense, while Ohio is first in scoring defense and rushing defense. And more MAC football tonight has Kent State playing at Bowling Green. Bowling Green ended a 7-game skid with a win over preseason MAC East favorite Akron last week. The Falcons are now 2-8, just a season after winning the MAC title. The Golden Flashes have lost 3 of their last 4 games, but were tied with the number 14 team in the nation, Western Michigan, entering the 4th quarter last week. And speaking of Western Michigan, the Broncos join Alabama as the only other undefeated team in the FBS, which is why ESPN's College Game Day will be in Kalamazoo for their game against Buffalo, which is only the 2nd time Game Day has visited a MAC campus.
When we're coming to your city, and if you want
That's going to be an exciting day for the Broncos, and yesterday was exciting for Alexander senior Leah Richardson. She signed to play basketball at Division I for Murray State with her family and whole team there watching. Just 6 games into the season last year, she passed the 1,000-point mark and has the most points in Alexander girls basketball history. Ohio University baseball added a new arm to their 2017 signing class. Chase Harris of Alexander High School signed with the Bobcats on Friday. Harris throws between 90 and 92 miles per hour. Harris was named the TVC Ohio Defensive Player of the Year last season. He will join a Bobcat team that went 8-16 in MAC play last year. And last night, the Bengals took on the New York Giants in Monday Night Football, but the Bengals fell short once again in prime time. Cincinnati fell 21-20 as Eli Manning threw 3 touchdowns, including the most important on 4th and goal from the 3-yard line to put the Giants up by 1 less than a minute into the 4th quarter. But on their 3 drives following the touchdown, the Bengals threw an interception and punted twice. The Bengals only have only won once in the last 5 games and are now tied for 3rd place in the AFC North. And that's it for sports. Back to you, Sean. It's time to kick off the first week of the playoffs, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. We started with 35 teams at the beginning of the season, and after 10 weeks, 8 teams qualified for this year's playoffs. But it doesn't matter how they got here. The slate has been wiped clean, and what matters now is winning 1 game at a time to keep the season alive. Tonight was historic for both Zane Trace and River Valley. This was Zane Trace's first time ever hosting a playoff game, and River Valley made their first ever playoff appearance. And Blaine Caraher was out in Chillicothe to see it all go down.
So what do you think is going to be the biggest key for the boys to turn this thing around?
Well, I mentioned that Aaron Davis scores a lot of the points for the team. They just need other people to step up. He's been really good for the Buckeyes, but no one else seems to score, and there's a lot of turnovers. So they need to clean up turnovers, and they also have to stop teams from scoring as much because over 70.7 times this year, it's not good, Sean.
Week 1 is finally here. The action started last night when Crooksville hosted Maysville, and tonight we cover Galley Academy versus Meigs. But right now, we're in the Plains for Logan taking on the Bulldogs, and Logan has won the last 12 times in a row. It's all up next.
On Gridiron Glory!
Kids from around the area kicked off their summer with a little football, but it wasn't your game of typical 2-hand touch in the backyard. Boys and girls 14 under gathered here at Paul Brown Stadium to learn from head coach Marvin Lewis at his football pro camp. Former Middletown standout Kyle Schwarber is coming back to where it all began. Cubs manager Joe Madden said the rookie will get a chance to play 3 games here in Cincinnati, the same place where Schwarber won the Futures Game MVP award right here at Great American Ballpark. Hilliard Bradley's 3rd-year head coach, Brett Norris, has his team sitting with a perfect 10-0 record after back-to-back 11-3 seasons. And a big reason for that success is his son, Braden, who's averaging more than 16 points a game for the Jaguars in his junior year.